I started painting, and then my boy Purpose, he calls me. He's like, yo, Drake is having his birthday party. You should paint him and his son and gift it to him. And I'm like, oh shit, that's a good idea. This is gonna be a really good breakthrough for me. So I did that. Party was the next day. It was like Friday. The party was Saturday. I pull up before the party starts, and then I walk up. The security's at the door. I'm like, fuck. And I had to think of an excuse. I was like, yo, Drake's dad told me to surprise him. And they were like, oh, okay. So they let me through.
Yo, Drake, your security, bro. We need to talk about that. Attention is the #1 asset. Vayner Nation, how are you? We are here for another episode of Podcast with Friends, where I get 3 people that are moving in culture together with the hope of, honestly, they become friends since they get to chop up sometimes. But most of all of you who are listening become friends of them because they're all doing amazing stuff. And I've been really loving this format. It's been nice to spend some time with the youngsters coming up in the game. And I also really enjoy, and I got to give a huge shout out to the Twitch Mafia that tunes in live. Big shout out to all of you that are in right now. Actually, for all of you that are in the chat, let us know what part of the world you're from. So city, state, country right now, all of you that are on. All right, let's do what we always do here first and go around the horn and let our beautiful people introduce themselves to the Vayner Nation. So ladies first as always. How are you? Why don't you tell everybody your name, what you do, and a little bit about yourself?
First of all, thank you for having me.
Of course.
You're a legend.
Thank you.
I'm Samah. I'm a TV host and chef and cookbook author. I brought it
Thank
for
you.
you, actually.
Thank you.
And yeah, I've been doing this for a really long time. I love cooking. I mostly focus on plant-based recipes with Indian influence because that's where my parents are from.
Amazing.
And yeah, I'm
Where do you
excited
live?
to be here. I live in Brooklyn, New York.
Very nice.
Yes.
And you grew up where?
I grew up in California.
What part?
Orange County.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you've been here in Brooklyn for how long?
I've been in New York since 2016 when I started working at the Today Show at NBC. It's a very long, kind of convoluted story. We'll get into it. And then I moved to Brooklyn a couple years ago.
Very cool. Well, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Cool. My man?
I'm Greg Yuna, born and raised in New York City. By the way, I had Indian food today.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Were you in Edison, New Jersey?
I was not. I was at
Edison, New Jersey
Taco Mahal.
Okay, that's...
We were starving, and
that's Mexican Indian.
It's like your house there.
Wait. It was good, but I got naan and I got the chicken.
I apologize. Samah, have you been to Edison, New Jersey, Metuchen, Edison? Like that's like the fucking
That's the
Mecca,
place
right?
to go.
That's where I grew up as a kid.
Did you really?
And was there when Indian immigration came because I was the only immigrant because I was born in Russia in 82, 83, 84, 85. And then in Martin Luther King Elementary School, summer of 85 going into 86, 13 new kids. 11 Indian, 7 with the last name Patel, but none of them actually related.
Correct.
You know, and I was just like, what's going on? And I loved it because they were scrappers like me.
Huge
And
Indian
then over
community.
the next 2-3 decades, it became Little India.
Huge Indian community over there.
And proper food, right? Like I hear a lot of my Indian friends who live in Manhattan that are like, yo, we're going to Edison this weekend to eat proper.
I mean, that's where you go.
Yeah.
Jackson Heights also.
Yep.
Queens.
Nice. Very nice.
Jackson
All right, I
Heights.
apologize, my man.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
Greg Yuna, born and raised in New York City, Queens, and I'm a jewelry designer. I live in New York.
From the get?
No, not from the get. I started about 15 years ago.
Okay, cool. We'll get, like since you were 9?
No, I started
I didn't know
it-
if your grandparents were doing it.
No, I
kind of
started
thing.
it in 2007 with some distant relatives, and now I'm.
We'll get into that.
I'm humble.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Arlanta, and I am an artist. I'm responsible for throwing paint on all the exotic cars that you guys see.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, live in Miami. Now I'm in New York.
But visiting New York.
Yeah,
When you say
yeah,
now, okay.
yeah.
Just you mean now, like
No,
actually
yeah,
right this
actually,
second.
yeah.
But you live in Miami.
Yeah, I live in Miami. Yeah.
And when did that go down? When everybody else moved in the last 3-4 years?
Yeah, 2 years ago, actually.
Yeah.
Like after COVID, LA
Bro,
was just
Miami is just like winning,
yeah.
right? Everybody wants to go there.
The best city in America.
It used to be when you were like wrapped up in 60, you'd go 70, 80. Now the youngsters want to be there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's true. All right, let's go back around the horn. Why don't we start with like double clicking? Now that we got a general sense, everyone's listening. Let's go a little bit deeper. 3-4 minute bio, like break it down. Orange County, and then like you go and work as a junior producer at the Today Show, or as a what?
I'll break it down.
Yeah.
Bottom of the totem pole, actually.
Intern.
Okay, so again, I went to Berkeley. I always
So
had
you're
an
a smart
interest.
girl.
Well, I mean,
In
that's
school.
nice. I loved school. I
Clearly,
really did. I loved
Berkeley's
school.
Berkeley.
Berkeley.
And,
It's
you know,
real shit.
I-
Respect, Boyd.
shit's
I mean, I'm
crazy.
impressed that you went to BU, Boyd.
Hey, man.
You still don't look to me like a kid who got good grades. I'm still always confused you went to fucking Boston University.
That's crazy.
I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, BU could mean a lot of things.
it's true.
It's true.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I really loved school. I had immigrant parents, and I felt like that was very much a priority for me and for them as well.
Of course.
But they never really pressured me to go into one direction. You hear a lot of the stereotype of like Indian parents are like doctor, engineer, like that's
they didn't do that.
They did not do that, which is really nice. And I grew up having an interest in television, and I thought that when I grew up I wanted to be a reporter, or initially I thought more in the entertainment space, so I thought like I would do red carpet like reporting or things like that. But anyway, you know, life takes you on really weird, unexpected turns that even you can't really plan for.
That's true.
I studied media and public policy and a little bit of acting at Berkeley, and then I went off to graduate early, did a month traveling by myself. I applied to one job before I left, which was the NBC Page program. It's a very
prestigious.
Very
that kid Kenny played it on 30 Rock. That whole thing.
Exactly. You wear the uniform, you give the NBC studio tour, you work SNL, Jimmy Fallon, Seth Meyers, all of those late night shows, and it's a very prestigious program. And it was my grad school really of TV. I got to learn a lot of different things in production, not just. It was very behind the camera, very behind the scenes. I loved it. I did that job for a year, and it really immersed me in TV. My favorite assignment was at the Today Show. After my program was up, I got a job at the Today Show as a production assistant. All the while, in 2015, we're rewinding back. I was still in college. I took an internship at CNN. I was in New York for the first time. This is definitely more than 3 minutes, but I'm wrapping up soon.
Go your thing.
I was interning at CNN, and I was just taken by the food scene here. I just loved it. I always had an interest in food. In college, my friends called me a human Yelp because I really knew where everything was. Like, with your parents' dinner, I got you. Like, date, I got you. I had a full list.
You were curious about it.
I loved it. I just loved being immersed in different foods, different cultures. I did half of my high school
predominantly from a restaurant place, or you also knew where like the good organic food store was, or the market, or was it predominantly focused on restaurant at that point?
That's such a good question, because Berkeley kind of instilled like the crunchiness in me.
Yes, of
like
course.
I was very intrigued by health only at Berkeley, because there was so much more of a focus on what food you were eating and like where it was coming from. So I got really interested in sourcing at that point, and actually looking at the labels on my food, like what is in this? Like why are there 8,000 ingredients?
Right, natural flavors. I don't know if you know this. Natural flavors is beaver anus.
Beaver what?
You heard me, my guy.
No.
So when you drink like some sort of like the shit that claims to be clean and like it looks healthy on the shelf, like the new age soda or whatever, as soon as you see second ingredient after water, natural flavor, you're getting straight beaver anus to the fucking mouth.
But what is the beaver?
For some reason, beaver anus has like some sort of like sweetened. Like I'm that's where my education. I wish I could answer that. I don't remember. I did at one point. I can't remember it all. But like I'm sure the comments about to go off on this, and they're clearly laughing. Yeah, people are gonna Google it right now, and they're about to jump back in and like talk about this. Like it's really the anus glands. It's the glands. I like saying beaver anus for effect, but it's anus glands. I think like it's like really kind of. But this is what she's referring to.
Comments.
There's a ton of things that are listed on your products. They look good because like only 100 calories, but it's all chemicals.
It's all chemicals.
Yeah, the whole.
marketing.
You know this better than I do. The next decade, people are about to eat clean in a different way. It's not going to be about calories. It's going to be about the source of it, and it's on. You could see it already. It's been on, and it's starting to really get going.
But the messaging has been all crazy for years. Like first, it was like, oh, eat sugar. It's going to keep you skinny. Like if you look at all these advertisements from years, like decades ago, it's crazy to see what kind of messaging, like low fat, like high sugar, like that's just not how you eat. It's all very much marketing, and that's all.
Life is marketing.
It's also tough to eat healthy. It's so tough. I find it so tough.
It's expensive.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, you just look at oils that every restaurant cooks with. Canola oils and all this stuff
seed oils.
Seed oils.
Seed oils is the worst. Supposed to be the worst. But
worst.
But also being on the run is tough. You know, you're traveling. You know how that goes.
Yeah, and food got smart 20 years ago. These companies, they made every package look healthy as fuck.
Yeah.
But there's still a fucking piece of candy.
Wow.
Like mango, like These
Yes.
I mean, that's all I eat.
bro, I love that shit too. Those fucking dried mango shit, that's
Yeah.
straight candy.
Yeah,
I
it
eat it,
is.
I'm like, I'm healthy. I'm like, but in my brain, I'm like, yo, this is
that's
fruit roll-ups,
fucked.
But
motherfucker.
it's different when you
stuff.
go to Europe. It's different when you go somewhere else.
different
No,
laws.
it
It's
is different.
completely different.
Different
It's
laws.
way
Different. Exactly.
Europe has much stronger food standards, and they benefit from that in that arena. And like America has a lot more options. So if
Yeah.
you're educated, you can navigate. Anyway, so in 15 you were fascinated by that. You're doing the
Yeah.
Today Show, and I assume either social media or the internet helped you start to build enough of a personal brand that you were able to make the transition.
100%, and it was very unexpected for me. So I started Dada Eats in 2015 just as a way for me to document the food I was cooking and eating.
And you did that where? On Instagram?
On Instagram, yeah. And so when I finally started a job at the Today Show, I was cooking in my off hours. I'd wake up at 3 a.m. I'd go to work at 4. I'd come home at 2. I would cook. I would try to go to the gym and like work out, go to sleep at 8, do it again. So I did that for years.
That was your life.
That was my life.
You knew
and
nothing that happened in the world between 8 and midnight.
no, and but I loved it because I loved the people I
You're sitting
worked
here
with.
like,
I was
"Yo,
passionate.
didn't even get up until 6 p.m.
You're like,
That's
wait.
some different shit.
I
It's
loved
true.
it.
That's
Yeah.
it. You know, people live in different lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what? The account grew momentum.
So what happened was that at that point it was kind of weird to have a food blog, right? It wasn't normal in like 2014, 2015 to
Yeah.
be posting pictures of your food on the internet. That wasn't as common as
It was
it is
very
today.
normal to me.
Yeah, and
because
to
I
me
was
too.
in the eye of
scene.
the storm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right,
That what
exactly.
Instagram was made for the photos.
No,
I feel like.
well, yeah, landscape photos. Like
Landscape,
true
Pretty early,
photography.
yeah.
Right.
Instagram's first intent was like, take a beautiful fucking photo of the
Yeah.
sunset.
Yes.
Right.
Not fucking dudes like me telling you to stop fucking being impatient. But that's the funny thing of every platform. Facebook was made to be a replication of connecting people on campus. These founders start these things with a certain intent.
Yeah.
Twitch was not started it was just in TV. It was live streaming on a camera, and then it became
Yeah.
gamers. Now you got dudes like me literally streaming me sitting in the office.
Yeah.
Like the consumer takes control.
That's true.
Platform starts with intent, but then at scale, the consumer takes
Goes
control.
left right away.
Yeah.
And so then it popped off.
So basically, I was working the controller one day. The producers, I heard them scrolling through my Instagram account, and we started talking. And they said, and by the way, this wasn't a story where I like pitched myself to be on the show. You could not go lower than a PA. I was running scripts. I was building
It
the
came to
show's
you.
rundown.
You built your
Yeah.
demand. You built your demand outside of your work,
And
instead of expecting it from happening within your work.
Correct. And I knew what my goal was, right? Which was to be a reporter, be on camera,
Yep.
do something, but I didn't chase it so hard that I broke that dream in my hands before I even got it, right? It was just in the back of my mind, and it did come to me very organically. So they said, why aren't you on the show as a guest? I said, that seems like a you call. And then I started coming on the show as an on-air guest and was
go
able
from
to
there.
leave and do it full time.
We'll get back to more stuff. My man, what about you from a comic book #1 origin story? So you grew up what? A punk kid
No,
or a nice boy?
First I come from
Were you a nice boy or a punk kid?
parents.
That's a very simple question.
I was a punk.
Yeah, I knew it. I fucking go ahead.
I was a punk. I come from parents. My parents were immigrants. They came in 1979,
From
Russia,
like me.
the south of Russia. Yeah.
I came in '78.
So
August
they
78.
instilled
December 78.
that hustle in me
You speak Russian?
fluently.
Ты говоришь по-русски.
Да.
И ты все понимаешь.
Всё понимаю.
Хорошо. Go ahead.
I always talk to you in Russian. I don't know if you noticed in the
Yeah,
beginning.
yeah,
I've been
I do,
calling
I
you
do.
forever.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, that's crazy.
So that happened. Never really did good in school. Like my
Pull it. I like doing this. You have to see it. Top frame.
Can I see? Excuse me,
Yeah,
guys.
you got. I need you to. Nope, the one closer to your right hand. Top one. You can take it down.
Okay. Pull it.
I need to. Pull it. I need to get a sense of how bad we were in school because I was one of the worst of all time.
I just, you know what it was? My attention span wasn't there.
Mine
Like
either.
my IQ may not be the highest,
Look.
but my EQ is incredible.
Same.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you, man. If not,
What about the class rank? Look at that at the bottom.
Where can you help me out here? Because I'm, look, I still can't read.
This is the opposite of you.
Yeah,
Out of-
I'm probably out of what?
That was not Berkeley. That
You
was
know?
Schmerkley.
Yeah, but there's still some people
I
who
might
are
get
like-
into Schmerkley with that. So you were a bad student like that.
I wasn't a bad student. I was more.
Oh, so you were better than me.
I-
Yeah, because everybody who says bad students were like C's. I was D's and F's, actually.
I was
Take a look.
more,
exam,
Look
man.
at
I
this.
was
Look
more
at
of a class
Okay.
clown. You know?
Me too.
I was straight F.
I love being a class clown.
Call out some good ones there, Seema. What are you seeing there? What about that German
Physical
one?
education, that was an A.
I got A's
A
in
plus?
gym. I was a gym
Yeah,
class
yo,
hero,
same.
bro. I was trying to win Stanley Cups
Phys ed.
in floor hockey. What about speech?
Really excelled at
Sophomore
phys ed, not gonna
look
lie.
at speech. I think
Health, A.
senior year, right?
Health 12, yeah.
Yeah, senior year. I got my only other A in
Wow.
health. What I get in health freshman year?
A D.
Do you know how hard it is to get a D in health,
God.
bro? By the way, you want to hear something crazy about my report card? I never cut class in all 4 years of high school, bro. I never cut class in 4 years of high
He
school.
got A's in
Gym.
Gym.
That's incredible.
What about speech? As one of the
Speech.
most prolific public speakers, I'm one of the 10 most compensated prolific public speakers in the
a
world.
D? But that's just, you know,
So,
everything's
Yeah.
on memory.
There's a lesson
though.
here.
What is the lesson?
It's bullshit.
I mean, you can do whatever you want to do, and this isn't indicative of your
No,
future
school
success.
is one system, and
Yeah.
a lot of people, do really well with it, and they understand it. I
Or you're
remember
a good test taker. Not everyone's a good test taker, right? And
I didn't even like. I
No,
tried to,
I'm saying
oh.
like you could be a very good
Yeah, exactly.
test
Everyone's
taker.
different.
and-
Everyone's different. Anyway,
yeah.
I veered off because I think
okay,
it's funny.
listen,
Go ahead.
We're all here
My fault.
together.
No, go ahead.
No, so I'm saying
So
school
you were
wasn't
that
really
guy.
school wasn't really my thing. My
Yep.
mom took me out of I believe I was supposed to be class of 2000. My mom ended up taking me out of school.
Yep.
Got my GED. Started working for my cousin who owned a mortgage company at the time.
Okay. Were your parents kind of like, yo, you're not a good student, but that means you have to fucking work hard? Or they didn't even do
They
that?
just wanted me to just
Be
stay out
happy?
of trouble and not, just not get
The
into
bar
any.
was low, right? They're like, do not go to
my
jail.
mom helped me out. I used to be a dispatcher at my mom's limousine company that she worked for.
Yep.
And so my mom always helped me and plugged me wherever she could. And one day she was like, "Why don't you go work in the Diamond District? I have some relatives that you can."
You had some cousins?
I had some relatives, her cousins.
Got it.
Not my cousins, but I started working there, and Instagram started happening, and Instagram honestly changed my life. Do you agree?
Yeah,
Changed.
100%.
It changed everyone's life.
Of course.
know,
And then TikTok
so-
changed lives.
I'm still-
YouTube and Twitter changed my life. Like,
Yeah.
wherever the the television changed people's lives. Before then, the radio changed people's lives. Wherever consumer attention is, Spotify, SoundCloud, MTV, BET, Dick Clark, The Soul Train, like it's all the same game.
Yeah.
The game has always been the same. Where is the attention? Who understands how to get onto the attention? Forever, pre-internet, there were gatekeepers. There was a producer that said you're allowed to be on. There was a head of the studio. There was people that decided you're good enough, you're good enough, you're good enough, you're good enough. Now, nobody gets to decide.
I don't think there's a cool table for the cool kids anymore.
I understand. But
It's gone.
Meaning that, like,
Everybody, it's just like
Yeah.
it's just the same language.
That's
everywhere.
right.
You see the same thing. Everyone's looking the same. Everyone.
well,
is dressed
plastic
the same.
surgery and
Everyone,
Ozempic
plastic
have
surgery,
really
they all look the
allowed
same.
people.
It's, but
agree
it's
with
like,
that.
how do you stray from that?
By not conforming.
Yeah, not conforming.
I think I'm doing a pretty good job.
By wearing a pink corduroy jacket,
Listen,
or
one
like.
color was come in.
By the way, it looks fresh as shit. I fucking love it. So you were able to outflank people because you were marketing on Instagram.
I feel like I was because I was watching
Yeah.
what was good. So the jewelry game is just it's so dirty. Everyone's just they're all haters over there, So it's very tough to get in there and be respected and
Also, it takes time to.
it takes time.
Right? Like, that's the thing that I always like.
Right.
To your point, there's always pushback or thing, but back to something I thought that was great that you said. I think the biggest thing for hungry, ambitious people is patience. It's why I talk about it all the time. Like, it just takes time. People are like, yo, I want to be respected. I'm like, what have you done? Like,
I agree.
You know what I mean? Like, people want to be
I
respected.
came in like that. I came in just like that. I came in. I'm like, all right, where's my respect? And
I could
was
see
like,
it. I could see it even in the way, like right now, right? And it makes sense to me.
Right.
It's the number one thing I wish people understood. Like,
But you have to go through it.
Yeah, you gotta go through
Gotta
it.
go through it. I didn't
Like, people are like, yo, I want GaryVee, fuck you. I want your respect. I'm like, motherfucker, I've been working for 40 years every day of my life. I got D's and F's because I was
Right.
working in my dad's
Right.
liquor store. Like, fuck you.
That's so
fuck
true.
you.
Right.
Like, that's like me saying, why don't I fucking have humongous pecs and fuck.
Right.
Like, I've been in the gym for 10 years and now it's like somewhat decent.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a fucking slob 10 years ago, like, it's because I fucking didn't do shit.
Yeah. That's funny you say that. I got upset at a friend because he didn't put me on. I was like, come on, dude. Like, I got it going on. I'm doing the jewelry. Look what I'm doing. He's like, yeah, it doesn't work like that. So
And now when you look back
now
at it, you
I have somebody
understand.
doing that to me, and it's like
Yeah.
I'm trying. I used to get upset when people wouldn't
Post
answer
you.
my text. Forget the post. I'm like, you can't be that busy to not reply to a text. That's wild.
It's an audacious.
It's wild. And I get
It's
to my
an
phone.
audacious-
I get to my phone sometimes. I'm like, oh shit, I get it now.
Of course.
It's like you have to prioritize.
You know
who you're
why?
replying to.
You know why? Non-busy people don't know what busy is.
And I was non-busy as I was getting to be busy, and I would just get, and I would take it so personal. I would get so upset. Also, I'm a Cancer, so I'm very sensitive, and I would take it so personal. And I'll, catch somebody in the club. I'm like, dude, you don't text me. He takes out his phone. He's like, look at my text messages. Look at how many text messages I have.
That's true.
And I'm like, all right, whatever. I don't care.
No, but I love you right now because you're about to help a bunch of kids. It's a very simple framework. It's a selfish framework
But if it was Jay-Z, they would answer. That's my point.
because he earned it.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
who am I to put myself on that level, right?
That's right.
Right.
And here's my big thing. I love it. By the way, what we're doing right now, I love the most because it's going to help a lot of
It's
people.
honest.
It's very honest, and it's going to be very helpful. The other thing is, when people say that, here's my question: you're the one that's asking.
Right.
Some dude was fucking rolling up on me so aggressive at the airport, and I was trying to be really
it's tough sometimes.
And I'm like, yo, my guy, it was real hot.
Right.
At the airport, he was like, you never. I was like, I was just like, I just want to say one thing. He's like, what? And I'm like, but you're the one who's asking.
Right. But it's
I'm not asking you for shit. Why are you mad at me when you're the one who's asking? You're asking for me to give you something. You were asking your boy to give you something.
I was.
So how the fuck is that? All the kids that are watching right now, let me make this real simple for you. If you're the one who's asking, you have no permission to be upset.
That's true.
But I felt entitled.
No shit.
you know, I was
Entitlement
entitled. Like, you're my boy.
Entitlement is real.
But I calmed down, right? And he checked me just like that.
Good.
It was Ronnie Feig, by the way. Shout out to
Ronnie's the
Ronnie Feig.
best.
Ronnie's the best. But I was like, dude,
And
put me
here's
on.
why-
You're in
and
a
here's-
space. He's
and
like,
here's-
gee, you're not like in
and
that
that's right.
space yet.
And here's why Ronnie's the best.
Right.
Coming up in the same year as Ronnie, not knowing him until recently, but always watching everything from afar, he fucking took his lumps. Everybody sees it now.
Right, but it takes time for it to. You can't understand that when you're not even anywhere near that side.
That
or even
part I
building.
understand. Not understanding, I understand. What I'm trying to get people to reframe, and you're a great example in this, and people are looking up to you now, so this is perfect.
Right.
Is not understanding, I respect. Because naivete, we all have blind spots. Coming at someone
Right.
before you understand is just a massive energy of insecurity.
Well, because we put our emotion into it.
No
It's
shit.
personal.
No shit.
Now it's business. It took me a long time from go to personal to business.
It's business now because you're on the other side.
right. But that fucking crossover it's night and day.
It's a
takes
simple game.
growth,
It's a
yeah.
simple game of
Yeah,
being
it's
self.
growth,
It's a game of selfishness.
It is.
It's
And
a game
I-
of selfishness.
and I was.
When you wanted something,
Right.
it was personal. Now that you're busy and you've got a little something, now it's business.
Right.
It's a very selfish framework versus a selfless framework. For example, why do I think most things work for me? For example, as we sit here right now, even this, where am I at in my career? I'm like, you know what? I'm at a place where I can get the biggest guests, but I don't feel like that's like I feel like a bunch of podcasters got that. I think what I can do right now is put people that are in an interesting part of their career. It's not like day one and they got nothing, there's nothing to talk about. It's this nice middle range with what I believe from afar, observing y'all, because I observe as much as I possibly can, with much more to go. So it's good for them because I know how eclectic the mix of people that listen to my podcast. There's people that are day one that are going to look up to you. There's people that are CEOs of the biggest companies in the world that might want to JV with you. So right off top, the second I allocate this hour, I know for 3 people, I'm doing something nice. On the flip side, if I do the kind of podcast I'm doing right this second, I also know for the hundreds that are watching right now and the hundreds of thousands of millions that will listen over the next year on the long tail of this, there's something valuable.
Absolutely.
That's selfless framework. Like, why the fuck would these 600 plus people right now in the middle of the fucking day give us their time? I always think that way. I love that.
Wow.
Art?
Amazing.
What's your origin story? How'd it go?
Man, yeah. So, I grew up in Atlanta. Grew up dirt poor. My parents...
Southside?
Southside Atlanta. My parents are immigrants as well from Nigeria. Came out here. We didn't have nothing.
Education too. School's big in the Nigerian.
Yeah, it was, but
They were like, yeah,
I
but you
dropped
didn't
out of
hear
high
it.
school. I was a high school dropout.
I should have fucking dropped out of high school. If my mom let me. If they let me, by the way. The school was selfish. All those grades, all of those grades, besides gym, should be You ready? You're gonna love this, especially as a good Berkeley girl. I did not do one piece of homework in all 4 years of my high school career. Not one.
Not one.
What did you do
Was you
instead?
cheated on somebody?
I went. Nope. You mean at tests?
Yeah.
Bro, I gave so little fucks. You remember Scantrons?
Yeah.
They give you the Scantron? Bro, on some real shit. They would hand me the Scantron. Nobody in my high school 4 years finished a test faster than me.
Yo,
I went
used to
A, B,
guess-
C,
I did that
D.
too.
I used to
Didn't give
do
a
that
fuck.
too.
Gave
I used
no
to-
fuck. Somewhere around midway through freshman year, I'm like, wait a minute, they're just pushing me through. Because I kept hearing to my school, we're going for blue ribbon. We're going for blue ribbon. Somebody said the wrong thing. Like, someone's like, my mom's in the administration. They need all of us to graduate for them to get blue ribbon. I'm like, peace.
Oh,
Peace.
Bye.
that's genius.
Anyway, so you dropped out of high school.
Yeah, dropped out of high school because like I always knew like, yo, school wasn't for me. You know what I'm saying? Because I made music at the time. I still make music, but I wanted to be a musician. I'm like, yo, there was nothing for me in school. So I left Atlanta. I dropped out, left Atlanta, and I moved to LA. But when I moved to LA, I didn't know a single soul out there. I was just homeless, sleeping in IHOP, sleeping in In-N-Out.
Straight up.
Yeah, just straight up. I didn't care. I just wanted to chase
So
my
fucking
dream. You know what I'm
amazing.
saying? And I really believed in myself so much.
Were you in the mindset of I'm going to work on music 24/7, so I'm going to sleep in IHOP, or because I need to every minute I'm awake I need to work on this music, or were you looking for some sort of like basic job to eat up 5 to 10 hours a day?
Nah, it wasn't even, I didn't even look for a job or anything. It was like something in the back of my mind just was like, yo, go to LA and just thug it out. And that's what I did. And when I did that, I was like, yo, this is what I'm doing because this is what I wanted to be. I wanted to make music. I wasn't even doing art at the time. But now when COVID hit, that's when I was at home chilling bored. I'm like, yo, I need to go explore my other talents. So I went to the art store, got the canvas, the paint. I started painting. All my friends were like, yo, you're really good. You should take this serious. You can make a lot of money. At the time, like I was broke as hell. Like, and then I'm like, yo, let me try this. And then I started painting. And then my boy Purpose, he calls me. He's like, yo, Drake is having his birthday party. You should paint him and his son and gift it to him. And I'm like, oh shit, that's a good idea. This is gonna be a really good breakthrough for me. So I did that. The party was the next day. It was like Friday. The party was Saturday. I pull up before the party starts, and then I walk up. The security's at the door. I'm like, fuck. And I had to think of an excuse. I was like, yo, I've told the security. Drake's dad told me to surprise him. And they were like, oh, okay. So they let me through. They let me through.
Yo, Drake, your security, bro. We need to talk about that.
Yo, it was crazy. It was a whole movie scene. Yo, it was really. It was.
Drake's mad as shit when he sees this clip. Go ahead.
He's been complaining about it security too.
Dude,
that
it's
kid-
hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It was
It's hard.
crazy.
That one kid that
Go
hopped
ahead.
on stage.
Yeah,
the
so,
other day.
go ahead, Ed.
So yeah, they walked me. They walked me to the green room where Drake was gonna be at. I put the painting there, and then I leave, and then I come back when the party's lit. It's jumping. It's a long ass line outside. So I skipped the line. I said, "Fuck that! I'm not waiting in line." I walk back up. The security remembers me. He's like, "Oh yeah, let him through. Let him through." So they escort me. Everybody's thinking I'm a celebrity at the time. They're like, "Yo, who's this guy?" You're getting escorted by security. And then they walk, my heart beating fast. They walk me to the green room. I walk in, I see Drake. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, yo, what's up? I'm like, yo, I'm the one that painted that. He looks at me. He's like, what? For real? Nah. I was like, yeah, for real. He was like, yo, I fucking love this shit. Yo, this is amazing. And then like after that, like he posted me on the story, and like everybody's like, yo, we seen you on Drake's story. And that's when, at the time, I was only charging $250 for my art. And then after that, I started charging $20K. 30K, 50K, and then like my career just like skyrocketed because I took that chance. It was crazy.
It's amazing.
Bro, that's fucking amazing.
Amazing.
Honestly, like
Shout out
that's
to Drake.
Yeah, bro. Drake's great at that. First of
He's
all,
good.
and like honestly, let me deconstruct this for a minute while we're all chilling. If you think about it, what you did there, what you two did, what I did with Wine Library TV, YouTube was 4 months old when I did my first video. I'm like, this is it. YouTube was 4 months old.
Wow.
I think all four of our stories is what I want so badly for the whole world. It's why I wrote Crush It in 2009, my first book.
Wow.
That book, when I wrote in 2009, the premise was you can make a full-time living on social media, YouTube and Twitter and Facebook. If you go to Amazon.com right now and sort by oldest reviews of my first book, the first reviews are like, this guy's full of shit.
Wow.
Yeah. Somebody can make $100,000 a year on YouTube. That's how foreign it seemed in 2008.
Wow.
Yeah, that's really early.
2008 is a long time ago, man.
Of course. I
you
mean,
talk to me about
look at
that?
that Uber. Look at, like, I've been in this tech thing. Read that Uber email.
Every time,
Hand it to
every time,
Yeah.
Every time you put me onto TikTok.
Yeah, bro.
What's next? My question.
When I see it, I'll tell you. Read this. Read this. Read this out loud. Read this verbatim. Give us the date.
Okay, this is from James at Uber.com.
Yeah, what
date?
day?
April 8th, 2011, 11:06 a.m. Subject Uber NYC. Hey AJ, I wanted to say thanks for being our first ever Uber rider in New York. How was
Stop.
your okay?
So Travis comes from Uber. They're opening up New York.
Wait,
I'm
this
in a
is
business
crazy.
meeting for VaynerMedia, and he's like, "Yo, I want you to take the first Uber ever in New York City." I'm such an idiot. I was so busy with a client. I was like, AJ, my brother, Boyd's friend from college. I was like, yo, AJ, you take it. Now, instead of being able to always talk that I was you imagine how good of a party trick that is?
Such a
You know,
good
like fun
story.
facts, like I took the first Uber in New York City. Now my brother's got it.
That's
And
upsetting.
I'm mad.
That's
your
upsetting.
brother.
Put that up.
Let him
It's
live.
My brother. Nah,
It's
look, my
upsetting.
brother's my favorite person.
Kevin Hart had a similar story. Like he was supposed to invest in Uber, and like when they first came out,
Oh,
and
no.
like he
Yeah, it happens all the time when in this game. But back to why I made you read that. Being early is always a thing, but that's not even really what I'm actually talking about. What I'm really talking about is all four of us just started doing shit. The thing that's really upsetting to me about a mood board or a vision board or a manifest, like people love to talk about shit. People talk their entire life.
No action.
I'm gonna is the first two words of a sentence that makes me throw up in my mouth.
So what's better than I'm gonna?
I am.
Saying nothing and doing it.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
don't open your mouth. Just fucking execute. Because every one of our stories, now, I'm gonna to yourself is a little different. Because that's you propping and pondering and strategizing, right? But when the amount of posturing in society now, just for, like, it's keyboard warrior. It's like virtue signaling. It's all these activists that live on social media but don't do shit about it in real life.
Yeah.
We've become a society of a PR agent of ourselves instead of actually doing shit. Like when I hear all three of you did something. You decided. Like, you know how many people are like, I want to be a food blogger and never post something? Like you're all frustrated and hot and trying to get it. And you're like, fuck it, let me start posting on Instagram. Like you did it.
Right.
Like a lot of versions of you just keep crying about it.
Still doing it now.
Right, like still asking a next buddy to put them on without doing the push-ups. Right? This shit's fucking crazy what he just said. All right, let's go back around the horn. What's up right now? You got this, like right now, State of the Union, some promo time for you. Like, what should people know? Like, you got a fucking book? Like, where are we at right now? What's hot in 24 for you?
Well, first of all, I feel like the energy is really hot in 24. I don't know. I don't know. I've been thinking about this a lot, about my mindset. I think last year I spent some of it. I've been doing this for a really long time, right? Or at least for me, I feel like I've been doing it a lot. And there's so much that you have to keep up with and so much you have to, like things are just evolving and you have to evolve with it, right?
That's a real point. One of the biggest things that pissed me off about, back to what you just said, when I was screaming about TikTok 5 years ago, the reason most people didn't do it was one of two reasons: perception and insecurity. Number one was perception. People thought it was teenage girls dancing on it, but they hadn't learned, as if we didn't just live through Instagram being photographers to being what it was, or Facebook being for college kids and now being for grandmas. They couldn't see the chess move of like, yeah, it's 14-year-old girls dancing now, but it's gonna be for everyone. So their perception. Number two was worse, insecurity. They had their 8,000 followers on Instagram, and they didn't want to go to TikTok and start over.
It would have been the best move they've ever made.
I know. That's why I get 1,000 fucking emails a year from people who literally started their career on TikTok literally because of how loud I was during that time. And I get 1,000 other emails from people saying, literally titled in my inbox, "Wish I listened to you," because they're not doing shit right now on Instagram because it's harder. And they're nowhere on TikTok.
I literally joined because of you, TikTok. Literally.
And
I mean, I got a bunch of followers really fast.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
I post when I
TikTok
post,
grows
like you
fast.
say. I just
yeah, you do your thing.
I post, you know.
It's the fear, right? People are so afraid.
People are
and they're
afraid
in
of
their
judgment.
head. Yeah.
Of judgment.
Yeah.
They
They had
care so much about
11,000 putting
Yeah.
up their pecs or showing their ass or whatever, or flossing on Instagram. They had 11,000, but they didn't want to go to TikTok and start at zero because they were worried what people would think. Most of those people weren't scared of the work. There's a whole group we just talked about that are scared of the work. Those people have no shot. But the part that drives me crazy is the second group that put in the work somewhere. This is why I jumped in, because you just said it. But shit evolves. I built on fucking Twitter and then YouTube. Like, I didn't want Instagram to come out. I was winning.
Right.
But Instagram came out, I had to figure it out. I didn't want TikTok to happen. I was winning. I don't want anything to come out. I'm winning, but shit will come out. And if you don't go where it goes, you're dead.
Left
Yeah.
behind.
So go ahead. So
And
it's
that
evolved-
takes time sometimes mentally to acclimate and
course.
recalibrate, right? Like if you feel like you're on top in one space and then you feel, and then I think it's what you were saying earlier too. A lot of people are now just doing what other people are doing and hopping on trends. And how do you stand out and how do you make yourself different and how do you feel different? It's because of you. Like no one's me.
That's
So
right.
nobody's going to do what I'm doing the way I'm doing
That's
it.
exactly right.
And I think, you know, honestly, I sort of forgot that last year a little bit.
Interesting.
And I have done 3 shows with NBC, TV shows, cooking shows.
Oh, wow.
Had a really good time with that. And TV is always my North Star and what I want to continue to do. And
Do you have a pit in your stomach that TV's evolving in a way that's not the way we all grew up and it's a different medium than it used to be?
it's interesting because the way I started out was sort of weird because I was bridging both traditional broadcast media and also social media, which was not really done before. Like the Today Show producers had never put like a social media person on air. That was weird and crazy. I was 22 at the time. Like that was not heard of. But now I think for a second, yes. But at the same time, like, what do? I can make my own show now. I don't need to rely
That's exactly
on a
where I'm
network.
going.
Yeah.
Being on a television show is less awareness than doing social media.
Correct.
For sure.
You're smaller.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the amount of eyes you can get
smaller.
on your
You're
content.
smaller.
Yeah.
Like you're a famous actor on Netflix
Yeah.
even. And like you're not bigger than the biggest celebrities on TikTok. That's
Yeah.
just the way it is now.
Yeah.
It's what we went through when radio went to television. Radio stars were fucking everything.
Yeah.
They were everything. And TV stars came and they were like, yo, that's why we know who Bob Hope and Lucille Ball are, because they were that first group of TV stars, and that was a whole new paradigm shift. People love me, like Hollywood loves to make fun of these social media people, and especially because I've been in it from day one. They're not making fun anymore.
Right.
They want that.
It's required.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're in a funny place where like what you started led to what you thought you wanted, and now where the attention is for what you want to talk about actually lives where you started.
Exactly.
I'm aware.
And that is what I was grappling with last year because I'd
Makes
done these
sense.
shows with NBC, and then I was sort of like, okay, now what?
Especially when you see somebody make 15 TikToks and have more actual awareness than you.
Yeah, and
That's real life.
100%. And it's funny because I think that I've had more eyes on my content that than could be technically on a show at a given time, right? Like on my Instagram.
That's not a theory. That's facts.
No, it's facts. So right, but it's like you have to just, yeah, I guess.
I have 2 new books coming out: a kid's book and my new business book, which is the follow-up to Jab, 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 Right Hook. I'm talking to all the PR people right now, my people, the HarperCollins people, and they're all talking about the launch. And they're like, "We need you to do this. We need you to do that." I'm like, "Why?" I'm like, I don't want to go to that studio for an hour and sell 310 books. I can go do a fucking podcast with somebody in my underpants and sell 10,000. Wow. The fuck am I going to the studio an hour before we go on air?
yeah.
Drinking shit coffee.
Shit
Wasting my
coffee's
fucking
okay
time.
sometimes.
I do like shit coffee.
Like, come
Big
on,
shout out to shit coffee.
Yeah.
Shit coffee.
Bro, I love your pants. Good for you. All right.
Good for you.
So that
I think
so
I'm gonna
last
start
year
using
was
that, actually,
so
as a
last year
compliment.
was a brain fuck year because the thing you were achieving towards, you kind of had a realization of like, wait a minute, I got to recalibrate.
Yeah. And
Good
I
for
think
you.
that takes it was a lot of thinking to myself about who I am, what I want, where I'm going, and also making promises to myself and keeping them. Because I think you can say like, oh, like you were saying, I want to do this, I'm going to do this. But if I'm not actually putting in the work, I'm not putting in the work and I'm not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
So this year, I mean, I have a cookbook, which is very exciting. It took me 2.5 years to make it, and I love it, and I'm very proud of it.
When did it come out?
2021. Very difficult to
Yeah, tricky time.
do a whole book situation in
course.
COVID. That was tough and unexpected, obviously, but I'm just grateful that I'm proud of the product because that was
for
all
you.
that matters to me.
100%.
I'm really focusing on making my own show this year, so that is in the works.
When you say own show, you're going to make something and you're going to distribute it on social?
Yeah.
Good for you. That's exactly right.
And then also, I have been really interested in in-person activations. I did a couple
Agree.
pop-ups last year.
Good for you.
We sold out like 2 nights of like me cooking
Where
for a
are,
bunch of people.
actually, I'm going to
so-
do this for all 3 of you. I apologize.
Yeah.
I'm going to name a social media platform. You're going to tell me what's like how serious you're taking if you're doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Ready? YouTube Shorts. 0?
No, I've been posting on YouTube Shorts.
How
But,
often?
Not that much.
Tell me the truth.
No, I haven't been posting that much.
No, I
but,
need the actual number. I don't want your fucking bullshit. Like once a week, once every day.
I would say once a week. Yeah.
I don't even know about it.
Like 4 to 5 times a week.
Beautiful. So here's why I love YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts is very similar to TikTok. One difference. YouTube's the second biggest search engine in the world, behind Google. So unlike TikTok, where you post something and it kind of, and yes, TikTok has good search query, but YouTube really has search query.
Okay.
And so like a YouTube short that you make could pop 9 months later because the search algorithm changed and you might show up first for like blue diamond earrings.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
Got it.
So YouTube Shorts, very important. Google should not be fucked with. They are never going away for your lifetime. YouTube Shorts needs to be serious in your repertoire.
I'm on it tonight.
Okay, beautiful. Facebook.
I don't post on Facebook.
Respect.
Same dinosaur.
I had the feature where it was automatically publishing to Facebook.
From your Instagram.
And I had a like decent Facebook audience because NBC.
Yep, of course.
That's
As you should.
my prime demo, but not as often as I
Back
could.
to day trading attention, what I think about every day, Facebook is a beast. My fastest growing audience on Facebook right now is 20 to 30-year-olds.
Really?
Yep.
How do I get my account back?
So Facebook, all these games are the same game, supply and demand of attention. Because all the proper creators just did what you did, all of them. There's not as many people that are really great at producing content, producing for Facebook. Meanwhile, there's a fuckload of people on Facebook. 40 to 90 all day. 20 to 40, more than you would think. Maybe not hardcore New York, Miami, LA, but the world is much more than 3 cities or 20 cities. And a lot of 25-year-olds will check it like once a week, but consume.
Is it Reels? Facebook Reels?
It's
that you're
both.
posting? Both of them?
It's both.
Interesting.
So Facebook, especially with what's going on, kind of like with, now you saw what happened with Vision Pro. I'm sure you saw that this weekend. This Apple thing is coming. Facebook's gonna be like, oh fuck, they might win the VR, AR thing, so they're gonna up their game on their next version of their things. Like, it's coming.
Okay.
And so Facebook and YouTube, even if you post the same videos you made elsewhere, I don't want you to do it the way a lot of people do it, where it's like you post it exactly the same. You can make the same video, just change the copy based on the room you're in. Because you know that you're in Facebook. For you, it might be like, yo, if you want to buy your significant other a proper gift for Valentine's Day, like, and even proper gift is not right. Like older language than you would on TikTok, right? So you know the audience that's going to see it.
Makes sense.
You can tweak it a little bit. Just changing the words, the copy. If you want to get advanced, maybe you change the opening second or two that you're addressing if you want to do some editing. But Facebook and YouTube Shorts are wildly underused by the good creators of the world right now.
All right, I gotta play with that then, because I used to do it where you just slide
Yep.
it over and it's the same thing.
Snap.
Snapchat? I stopped using that.
Nope.
No Snapchat, man.
I stopped.
No, I'm
Okay,
not.
Snapchat. And this is one advice I have to take myself. So the others I'm doing, this one I'm not doing. So you get, even when you know you're like, it's funny when my trainer makes me do something, like, you're doing it? He's like, no. I'm like, damn, see, it's like funny. Like, even when you know it, you can't get to everything. If you can snap and vlog your day, like, really do it. There is so much, not only opportunity for audience growth, money. There's a lot of ad money in Snap, but not a lot of creators getting it. Snap is a huge opportunity for all three of you as well to kind of do the true story vlog thing. Like, I'm talking 13 snaps a day in GaryVee's office, and when you're gonna go eat now, and like your day, I mean, it would crush.
I feel like you just became our manager. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, I mean, you know what that is? That's Facebook and Tumblr stock that I bought in 2006. My great gift has been knowing, like, I knew Twitch when it was Justin.tv, but I know when to hit things. It's not just when you ask me what's next, I don't know. But the second I know, I'm gonna know.
That's right.
I was first on Vine, moving. I was like, I'm always especially the age that I was when this all happened, I was always like the older dog that was first on all these stuff, because I view it not for any other reason than what's the opportunity to do whatever you want, whether that's to sell wine or trading cards. Actually, let's open these trading cards real quick. Oh, yeah. We're gonna play a little game here with our friends. This is VeeFriends. This is my Pokemon meets Sesame Street. Open these packs. You know, change kids' perspectives, like whatever you're gonna fill the pipes with, but which pipes are most fertile. All right, I want you to look at these cards and tell me which card you most resonate with. Twitch, let's ask a couple questions in here. Threads is not dead, Solder Dog. It's just declined a lot. It had that hot week and then it's declined, but there's plenty of audience there too. You got to try to actually make the content though. These hats are going to be very limited and 8 Beast. They're not. It's going to be very hard to get them. I apologize. I'm doing that on purpose though. I want these to be properly cool and hot. All right, which one? Oh, good. I got
These are
mine.
cute.
All right, look at them all. Figure out which one most resonates to you. I got mine figured out.
But and then we put the rest in there.
Yeah, just put. No, you keep them. You're gonna take them with you.
all right.
Just. You got yours?
I think so.
Which
yeah.
one?
I chose Hardworking Wombat.
Hardworking Wombat.
And I have a reason for it.
Great.
I've been thinking a lot about, like, actually, this is on the way over here. I was listening to Atomic City by U2, LOL. There's a line in there that says, if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough.
I love that.
And I just feel like the only thing that separates people from getting what they want is, and who don't, is the ones that stop on the way. You know, like if you stop, you're not going to get what you want. But if you keep going, no matter how many times you fail, or you have to recalibrate or do it again, you'll still get there. It just might take time.
And there
where
is
there?
a life filled with less regret.
Yeah, and it
you
changes.
may not achieve, like we may have the biggest streak. I want to win a great, I want to buy the New York Jets. I
Yeah.
want to buy the New York Jets. The only thing I actually want to do is be proud of how hard I tried to get the New York Jets
Yeah.
when I'm 90, right? So like to the point of getting there, most people don't actually achieve their goal. There's just two groups of people. One that are proud of themselves at 90 for trying, and one that sits around at 80 and 90 and just dwell and regret not going for it.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
The try is the game.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's funny. That's your
where I'm
theme,
at.
right? 2023 was kind of like a transition year,
Yeah,
right?
but
You're
now
kind of like,
yeah.
and now you're like feeling it.
I feel
love
ready
that.
to go.
I'm
fired up.
I feel like I've really always been a dude in movement, but there are I remember my 28 to 29. I can clearly see that was a passive year for me.
Yeah.
I was comfortable.
Yeah.
I was comfortable. I was just kind of, I just worked every minute for 7 years. And I kind of just like, I just know. I know that I like softened up a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Just 1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're
All right.
self-aware.
That's right. What do you got?
I have the headstrong honey badger.
I like that character.
Me too.
You feel headstrong.
I feel like when it's time to get disciplined, I'm very disciplined. When it's time.
I love that. So you're kind of like a fighter, right?
Yeah,
Like
when
you
it's
can
time.
fuck around in between fights, but when it's 8 weeks from the fucking main event,
Pressure. I like
you can
pressure.
fucking stop eating bullshit. You like the pressure, you'll put in the work like a prize fighter.
Yes.
I like that.
Wow.
I like that. Yours?
I chose the energetic electric eel.
Ooh.
Because your energy's so fucking flavored.
Yeah, like especially like when I'm in my element, like because I do these performances called the Arlanta Experience, and that's me like performing my art. Like I'm throwing the paint on these cars, and like everybody feels the energy, and they're like, wow, like and that resonates with me so much. It's crazy.
What happens to you in that zone? And you just talked about zone, and I really fuck with zone. Like the second before I take the stage for a public speech, I'm on my phone running this business. And everyone always laughing about it. Right, Dust? Like everyone's always like, thinks it's kind of funny or weird. But the second they're like, that it goes into my intro, like a WWE wrestler, like the second I hear my theme song,
Yeah.
I become like a bizarro version of myself and I like black out and do my
Yeah, blackout
thing,
too.
right?
Yeah. It's like you just go to this place and like nothing matters. You just want to.
How long does it take you to get down from the high when off post, like you're done now?
It doesn't take me that long.
No, you transition?
Yeah,
You like trance out.
Yeah, like just like.
I'm gonna give you one of my cards too that goes with that.
It also depends
the
on what
vibing
kind of high we're
vampire.
talking about.
Yeah.
Sometimes when it's like, it's a big deal, I'm high for the whole day. Like it's just like, I
course.
can't even focus on anything. I'm like, I can't believe this is going on. What are they saying? What are they doing? It's crazy.
I get it.
But it's
The action.
It's a high. It's a
I'm going
dopamine
with
high.
arbitraging Admiral because what I've been talking to you all about just now is the arbitrage that I spend my life on.
Yeah.
Where's the attention that's underpriced that most people can't see? The fact that you three are really in the game, the way I define the game, humans that are moving, that get it, aren't caught up in the old world, even though there's a world of attention. And think about all three of those platforms that we just talked about. And like to me, I get excited because I can't wait for one of the three of you to email me in 2, 7, 10 weeks, DM me, be like, how the fuck did you know?
Yeah.
I just know. And I know you already have shown me the capacity to put out good stuff. So it just becomes matching that good stuff to a new audience that's being underserved. Arbitrage.
Wow.
I'm going to take this back.
Yeah, take it.
Can I keep these cards?
Hell yeah.
So can you tell me what the deal is with these cards? Because
I'm
you
trying to
sent
build
me.
Pokemon over the next 30, 40 years.
You're
And
trying to
one-
what? Okay.
Yeah, like one day
Yeah.
you will all look back in this video and
can
be
see
like,
that.
why the fuck did I lose those cards?
No, I as soon as I got them, I was like, you know what?
I'm keeping these
Gary
cards.
Vee is
Put them back in here.
Gary Vee is sending them. Hide them.
All right, let's do last couple minutes. Let's do questions. Since I'm here for you, do you have any question? Anything I can answer?
Well, I just feel like you have so many tabs open in your brain.
Yes.
Everyone is nodding in the back. Where do you focus your attention? Like, how do you?
I feel like I'm driving a boat. I have a boat, and I have all my homies on it, and it's a boat in the ocean. And Boyd's like, "Yo, there's a hole over here," and I'm like coming over there and be like, "Yo, this is how." Like, I feel like I'm a firefighter, and I like it.
Wow.
This is my state. Like, I'm not maximizing for money. If I was maximizing for money, I would have done a fund,
Yeah.
and just made a lot of money. I'm maximizing for my art. I love the art of being an entrepreneur. And my art is chaotic. It is Jackson Pollock. It is Arlanta. It's all over the place. And so when I sit back and assess years, I'm like, always can logically as an operator, I'm like, man, I smile at how many mistakes I make. That's because I have too many balls in the air. The problem is most people in the world are juggling a ball. I'm juggling 39.
Wow.
7 of those balls are gonna hit the ground and break outright. That means I only have 32 balls, right? Some of those other balls are gonna get dented while I'm playing with them all. So it means I only have 16 clean balls. That's still more than one ball. Got it?
Yeah.
And so that's how my world works. The key to my world is, I'm glad we talked about this. The only reason my shit works is I don't care about my failures.
Same.
And when I say I don't care about them, I like to dissect them. I like to learn from them. But the number one thing that I have that I'm blessed with and I'm so grateful for from parenting, upbringing, culture, luck of the draw, is I genuinely don't give a shit what all of you think about my failures.
Was it always that way?
It was always, that's why you saw those grades.
Yeah.
I had the strength to
Yeah.
be judged by parents
Right.
of my friends. And do you know that every one of my teachers told me I was gonna be a garbage man?
Damn.
That was the big thing in the 80s. They're like, you're gonna be a garbage man. And I'm like, I make more money than you do right now. Because I was making $500 a weekend selling baseball cards in the malls in New Jersey. Now I couldn't work every weekend, but I had a good enough math skills to say 500 times 52. Teachers were getting paid nothing in Jersey back. Like, I was like, how? I was like, I understand you see the world from a grade standpoint. I don't. And so, yeah, my self-esteem, the way my mother raised me is so masterful. It's why I'm writing this kid's book, Meet Me in the Middle. My mom hit the middle. She, like, and your parents hit a version of this, like having parents that didn't push you to the, right?
Yeah.
What my mom did really well was your self-worth isn't your grades. But she also didn't make me entitled. Anything that I did that was wrong, she would smack my fucking face and punish me. The biggest issue for kids right now is there's no consequences for their actions. And now kids don't even get grounded. So kids are just moving as if like,
That's wild.
right? It's changed.
Yeah.
And so I
get
got
beat.
very fortunate. So yes, it's always been like that because of great parenting and the luck of the DNA draw. And then I refined it. I've been on it.
Early adopting is like a theme for your whole everything, though.
Completely based on lack of fear. I'm not scared to lose
Yeah.
money. I'm not scared to waste my time. Do you know why most of my friends don't find the shit I find? Most people in this world don't find? Is when a new thing comes out, be real. I spent fucking 20 hours on it.
Yeah.
Most people are like, they heard it, but I spent I put in the fucking hard work, and then I had the skill and the pattern recognition to be like, no, this is not gonna pop. That's what I'm great at. I'm great at really putting in the work when new shit happens and keeping tabs on. Everybody moved on from Facebook. I'm looking at it every day. Is today
Very
the day?
cool.
You understand?
I'm
Yeah,
getting on it tonight.
yeah.
I'm gonna find out what my password is today.
I love it. What do you got? We got like 2-3 minutes. Anybody? Either one of you got something, man?
I got a new restaurant happening in
Let's
the
go.
middle of March. It's called Chica and the Don.
Okay.
Cool.
Where is it?
It's it's called Pan Latin, so it's basically from Argentina all the way to Mexico.
Wow.
So been a POPO before? That's Peruvian.
yeah.
So it's gonna be a sexy
I love that.
POPO.
Where's it gonna be?
On 21st between Park and Broadway.
Nice.
And then I also have a jewelry store opening up
Let's go.
in April, the 25th of April. Please,
Where's that?
you guys are all welcome. Right on Mulberry Street. Mulberry between Prince and Spring.
2 great
Okay.
locations, my
Yeah.
guy. Proud of you.
Thank you. I'm on
Proud of
it.
you.
I've
I'm
been
gonna pull
rocking.
up.
Art?
Pull up.
Yeah. I'm actually starting an art label. You know how the music labels, like, they sign these
You gonna
artists. Yeah, so I'm gonna like find talented artists to sign them.
Cool.
They have the drive.
You're the
ambition.
Oprah. You're looking for Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz.
Exactly. Yep.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm. Where can some of the talented kids that are definitely going to listen? I mean, literally millions of people over the next 2 years will listen to this.
Yeah.
Where should they find you?
Yeah. So if you're an artist and you're interested, just go to my Instagram, Artlanta__. Send me all your work. I'm gonna check it out.
Who's got the Artlanta proper?
Man, they're not trying to give it to me.
No.
Some random.
Have we negotiated?
Yeah.
They're asking
like,
for too much.
They're not even. They're like, no, they don't even.
They're
want
icing
anything.
you.
Yeah.
I respect it.
Yeah. It's crazy.
As they should.
As they should.
Right?
That's right. As a good hustler should.
As they should.
I wish you three nothing but the best.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for being on.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. Cheers. Twitch, thank you for watching podcast. Go to twitch.tv/GaryVee and subscribe if you want to watch these episodes live.